What's up, Mad Maxers? It's going to be our first official YouTube episode or vlog or what do you want to call it on the Mad Max Ram or Mega TRX. Well, we're still figuring out that name. Y'all have been waiting for me to make a video starting this whole build process. So I'm going to give you a quick runaround of the build and what our plans with, ideas we have, and then we're just going to slowly drop episode after episode, probably every week or every other week. You'll look for it on our YouTube channel. All right, guys. Well, here is the Mega TRX that y'all been seeing all over TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Everybody's like, what the heck is he doing with this build? And what's that big behemoth on the front of it? Today, I'm going to give you a quick runaround of what all we're going to be doing on this Ram. This started out as a new to me 2022 Ram 3500 dually that we just woke up one day and decided, hey, let's build a TRX on steroids with some 43-inch tires. And then we started going towards like a more Mad Max build like you saw with the Mad Max C7, which I'm sure plenty of y'all seen that. What this is going to come out to be is basically we are reinforcing the frame right now, just beefing it up. That's why the process has taken so long. We've stretched the frame all the way out to here. This is going to be the basic outline for the bumper. And then we're going to slowly branch it out underneath the headlights. And we're going to create your own two fenders and basically a giant EXO on this whole build. And it's going to be just a giant apocalypse-based, like APC-looking monster diesel 1-ton axle beast. Right here, as you can see, we're going to do... This is our little winch box. We took a 1/4-inch steel and welded into the chassis. We extended the chassis with DOM tubing and used 1/4-inch steel to just make a beefy structural frame. And then we custom built this grill. It looks like it's just a regular grill, but this is actually expanded metal with 1/4-inch steel. That sucker is beefy. But the next step on this, we're actually going to disconnect the whole front axle. We're going to move the whole front axle forward about 2-3 inches. And then the tricky part is we're going to have to start custom making control arms and basically deal with the steering, sway bar, and all that jazz. And then we're going to completely delete the factory spring and the shock there. We're going to go to a straight just coilover setup with some reservoirs. Basically on this thing, I want to make it to where we could jump it, we can ram into stuff, we could crush a car with it, and then we can still daily drive it down the road or tow my big gooseneck trailer hauling 30,000 pounds. I'm going to give you a quick shot of the inside of this. So this started its life as a Bighorn Edition Ram with a 12-inch screen, cloth seats, premium sound. The truck has 800 miles on it. It basically has every option except the leather seats. It has the nice polished Alcoas, 8-foot bed. This time I decided to go with a regular standard crew cab with 8-foot bed than the Mega Cab on my last truck. The Mega Cab, the short bed just got old real quick. Couldn't haul nothing in the back of it. This thing, I want to actually use it, put miles on it. You probably see it running around Huntsville, Alabama as me dailying it. But our goal is this will be at SEMA 2024. Finished up and just looking beefy. We're trying to draw away from that typical truck build with the 10-inch lift and the 26x16 low profile mud tire setup. We're looking for beef. These tires you see on here now, this is a 43-inch by 15-inch on a 17-inch wheel. The wheels, we have Venom wheel that's out in California. They're building us a 20x14 wheel that we're still waiting on. It's getting custom built for this fitment. And basically we use this wheel and tire setup right here to just mock up where the new wheel and tire setup is going to sit. We're still going to use a 43-inch tire that Mickey Thompson supplied us. I believe it's 43 by 15, or it might be a 19-inch wide on a 20-inch wheel. But basically what we had to do to run these wheels, these are 8 by 165 on the bolt pattern. We had to take the dually adapter off, which you see right here. We had to take that off because that's 8 by 200, and then we had to stack like freaking 3 spacers. I don't know if you can see that. You had to stock like 3 spacers to get it to this position that where the other new wheels are actually going to sit. We're not going to have to run a spacer when we get the new custom wheels, but we just do this for the mock-up. This is actually how it will sit, but the new wheels will be a lot wider than these 17x9 KMC wheels we're using right now for mock-up purposes. And then we actually went and we removed the fenders. I just saw in my last video. We ended up, we were like, we're just going to have to cut so much on the factory fenders where it was like, screw it, we'll just delete the whole entire fender, because we were actually not wanting, see, if we use the factory fender, it was going to come out like this, and then we're going to have to build the rest of the fender all the way out here, so it look funny with that shoulder. We decided just to build our own custom fender out of tubing and bring it out here. It'll be all nice armored up to tuck this big tire in there. In the back, we'll be on super singles as well with a 43-inch tire. So we'll be actually tubing out the rear bed and making it real beefy looking, the same for the front. So it'll be super singles all the way around on 43-inch tires. But then we'll still leave the option to where we can put another dually set up wheels with 40-inch tires for towing, basically. So we'll have 2 different sets of wheels and tires for this truck. But basically, the next step, we're gonna start bringing this axle forward about 2-3 inches. That way, when we start cutting, we won't actually have to cut on the door. Because if we leave the axle where it's at now, we're gonna have to cut all this through the door right here, and that'll be open. I decided we're just gonna go ahead, move the front axle forward. We'll end up making some custom control arms and bringing that forward, and then deleting all the suspension components right there and going with just a straight coilover. Probably just delete the sway bar altogether, and then we'll have to start working on the geometry of the front end because we're moving everything forward. Yeah, we have a lot of work cut out for ourselves here on the Mad Max Ram build, but man, we are super excited on how crazy and how many just options of crazy things we can do to this thing. Because the C7 went crazy, but there wasn't a million options you can do with that, because it's a coupe. There's not a lot of room to play with, not a lot of real estate to go with. This thing, there's just the options of custom stuff we can do. This thing is crazy. Y'all have no understanding of how nuts this thing is going to be. But as far as like tubing wise, the whole truck is going to be just absolutely covered in tubing. And like, it's structural, it's DOM tubing. And we'll have the trusses and gussets, everything done to where it's just straight beef all the way around. And actually, you probably, I don't know, back there you'll see we just have a whole pallet of tubing just ready to roll for this thing. We're super excited. Just stay tuned. We're excited to get this build rolling.